You ever catch her staring? But the moment your eyes meet, she looks away like you don't even exist. You probably thought she was just distracted, or maybe it was all in your head. But here's the brutal truth. She noticed everything. Women are wired to pick up on subtle moves most men don't even realize they're making. That time you adjusted your watch. That slight smirk when you caught her gaze. It's these unconscious actions that flip a switch inside her mind sometimes, driving her wild, other times leaving her cold. The real question is, are you doing it on purpose? Because whether you know it or not, you already have this power. Comment the last time you noticed her reacting differently to you. If this has ever happened to you, drop a in the comments. And stay until the end for the biggest psychological twist. You're sitting at a cafe, fingers absent-mindedly fidgeting with your ring. You're not thinking about it. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're anxious. A woman 2 tables away notices. Not just the movement, but the energy behind it. You don't see her look, but she does. And the way she studies your hand says more than her smile ever could. See. You thought you were just adjusting your sleeve. She thought you were confidently showing off your forearms. You thought you were brushing your hair back because it was in your eyes. She saw a moment of exposed neck and read it as deliberate vulnerability. That's the split. That's the contrast. You walk through life thinking most of what you do doesn't matter. But women, especially the ones you're drawn to, notice everything. They're neurologically tuned to the subtlest shifts. The way your shoulders roll back, the angle of your chin when you speak, even how you exhale after a joke doesn't land. Attraction, for them, begins long before you open your mouth. And here's the crazy part. You've been sending signals this whole time. You probably remember a moment she looked at you, smiled slightly, and then turned away. You thought, no way that meant anything. But her body had already registered your presence, already begun scanning for cues. Are you confident? Are you safe? Are you self-possessed? Because when it comes to attraction, women aren't responding to your words. They're reacting to your state. So when you lean back and exhale slowly, she sees composure. When you take a sip of your drink and glance sideways, not to avoid her, but to ground yourself, she sees presence. She doesn't know why she feels pulled to you. She just does. That's the power of unconscious moves. They bypass logic. They signal status, comfort, dominance. And most men never realize they're doing them. Or worse, they try to fake them. And women feel the disconnect instantly. But you're different. You're starting to pay attention. So next time you catch yourself adjusting your watch, don't rush it. Slow it down. Let it become a ritual, a moment of stillness. Hold her gaze just a second longer. Let her wonder what else you're aware of that she isn't. Because the real move is knowing you're making one. There's a strange power in silence, a power most men are terrified of. Picture this: a crowded party, music humming in the background, glasses clinking, conversations overlapping like crashing waves. And then him, the guy leaning casually against the bar, speaking slowly, deliberately, while others around him scramble to fill every second with noise. He doesn't rush. He doesn't fidget. He pauses. She's drawn to it like gravity. You might think silence is awkward. I need to keep the conversation flowing. But what if I told you the pause is the moment she leans in? The pause is where the connection happens. Most guys think faster words equal better results. They believe if they don't answer instantly, they'll seem unprepared or nervous. But here's the truth. When you pause before speaking, you create tension. And tension, when controlled, is attraction. You ask her a question. She answers. And then you just wait. You nod slightly, keeping your eyes steady, letting her words sink in. That pause tells her you're not desperate to impress her. You're comfortable enough to let space exist between you. She feel it, this subtle pull to fill that space herself. And when she does, she start revealing more, testing herself against your calm. Imagine this micro moment. You ask, "What's your biggest dream?" She starts answering, expecting you to jump in, to agree, to interrupt. But you don't. You listen. You let silence stretch just enough to make her feel exposed and seen. And suddenly, she's sharing more than she intended. And here's where the magic happens. In her mind, you're not just attractive. You're safe, grounded, different. But most guys miss it. They can't sit with silence. They panic and fill it with nervous jokes or meaningless comments. And the opportunity slips away. You're smarter than that. Next time you're in conversation with her, catch yourself rushing to respond. Stop. Let it breathe. Try a simple 2-second pause before answering. Count it in your mind if you have. 2, 1, 2. Then speak. Watch what happens. You'll see her body language shift. She leaned closer, eyes locked in, lips slightly parted, not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't say. She won't understand why she's intrigued. She'll just feel it. And that's the power of the silent pause. Now, there's something about a smile that plays tricks on the brain. But not just any smile. Not the wide, toothy grin you throw at strangers. Not the polite, automatic one you flash when you pass someone in the hallway. No, I'm talking about the micro smile. The slow, deliberate, almost secretive smile that feels like it's meant for no one else but her. You're standing there, maybe leaning against the wall at some rooftop gathering. The night air is cool, the lights casting soft shadows. She looks at you, and you don't react immediately. You hold her gaze, letting just a hint of amusement creep in. Slowly, almost too slowly, a faint smile begins to spread across your face. Like you know something she doesn't, like you're amused by her, or maybe by your own thoughts. Either way, you're not performing. You're savoring the moment. Most guys do the opposite. The second they lock eyes with her, they smile wide. Nervous energy, approval seeking. But you wait. You let that slow burn do its work. She feels it instantly. Her heart rate ticks up, almost involuntarily. Because that micro smile, it's not just a facial expression. It's a message. It says, I'm comfortable here. I'm not chasing anyone. I enjoy myself, and maybe you, too, but I don't need you. The contrast here is sharp. You think smiling immediately makes you approachable and friendly. You think it shows you're open. But to her, it feels like you're trying too hard. You've already given away your position. But the slow smile? It's different. It's quiet confidence. It makes her wonder what's going through your mind. Why you're smiling like that. And most importantly, whether she's the reason. Here's a scenario you've probably never thought about. She gives you a compliment. Says you're funny, or that she likes your jacket. Most guys would laugh, deflect, or instantly compliment her back. But you hold her gaze for just a beat longer, letting your smile unfold like a secret. No rush. No need to fill the space. And in that pause, she starts questioning everything. Why is he smiling like that? Did I say something wrong? Or is he actually enjoying this? And now, she's thinking about you. That's the beauty of the micro smile. It flips the dynamic. It makes her seek your approval without you saying a word. Most men never unlock this. But you will. Here's something simple to try. Stand in front of a mirror when you're alone. Practice letting a slow smile form naturally, starting from your eyes, then your lips. It should feel like an afterthought, like something you almost tried to hide but couldn't quite stop. Then, next time you catch her looking at you, don't rush. Let it build. Smile slowly, deliberately, and watch how quickly the air shifts, because sometimes the most powerful move you can make is just letting her wonder. Touch, It's one of the most misunderstood forms of communication between men and women. It's risky, right? You've been told to be careful, to keep your distance. And sure, there's wisdom in that. But what most guys don't realize is that subtle, casual touch done right can flip her internal switch before she even knows what's happening. Picture this moment. You're sitting across from her at a dimly lit bar. The conversation is easy, the laughter flowing. She reaches for her drink, and as you lean in to pass her something, a napkin, a menu, maybe just to emphasize your point, your fingers brush her hand. It's barely a second, a whisper of contact. But to her, it's everything. Most guys avoid touch entirely, afraid of making things awkward. They keep their hands locked tightly on their own side of the table, unknowingly creating a wall between them. But the man who knows how to use casual touch, he creates chemistry. Here's the emotional contrast most men miss. You think touching her will make you look too forward or aggressive. But in reality, when done subtly, it sends the message that you're comfortable in your skin, and that comfort is contagious. It's not about lingering. It's not about being obvious. It's about letting your touch say, I belong here. That brush of her hand, that tap on her elbow when you laugh at her joke, it signals familiarity, closeness, and quiet confidence. Let's zoom into this micro moment. You're both laughing. You lean in, your forearm resting just close enough to graze hers. You make a witty remark, tapping her lightly on the forearm as you emphasize your words. It's quick, light, natural. But in her mind, a quiet storm begins. She wonders, was that on purpose or just part of the conversation? Her body feels the spark before her brain even processes it. And suddenly, she's hyper-aware of every inch between you. Here's the secret most men never realize. It's not the touch itself. It's how unaffected you are afterward. You don't glance down at where you touched her. You don't apologize or act nervous. You just carry on as if nothing happened. And that's what makes it so potent, because if it's no big deal to you, it starts feeling natural to her. And here's a little challenge for you. The next time you're in conversation with a woman, find a moment to lightly, casually touch her arm or shoulder during a laugh. Nothing intense. Nothing that draws attention. Just a fleeting, confident gesture. Then pull away and keep talking like it was the most natural thing in the world. Watch how her body shifts. Watch her lean in a little more. Her pupils dilate. Her breath catches, just slightly. Was that accidental? Or did you just feel her linger? You already know the answer. There's something about eye contact that makes even the most confident men crumble. You know the feeling. You lock eyes with her just for a second, and your brain floods with noise. Look away. Don't be weird. Don't stare. And before you even know it, your eyes drop to the floor, pretending to check your phone, or worse. You force a nervous smile to break the tension. But here's the truth you've never been told. Holding a calm, unbothered gaze doesn't make you look aggressive. It makes you unforgettable. Imagine this scene. You're at a crowded event. Music pulses in the background, laughter echoing through the space. Across the room, she notices. Your eyes meet. But instead of darting away like every other guy would, you simply hold it, calm, still, no smile, no smirk yet, just presence. Your gaze says, I see you. And after just a few seconds, 2, maybe 3, you slowly, intentionally look away, as if you've already decided she's intriguing, but you're in no rush to chase. Her heart skips. And here's the wild part. She doesn't even know why.c. Most men misunderstand eye contact. They think prolonged gazes are creepy. They worry it makes them look desperate or threatening. But the truth is, it's not the length of the gaze that matters. It's the energy behind it. You're not staring her down. You're not challenging her. You're simply observing, calmly, unaffected. That's what makes it magnetic. This is the emotional contrast at play. You think breaking eye contact quickly keeps things comfortable, polite, non-confrontational. But to her, it feels like you're retreating, like you can't handle the moment. The guy who can hold his gaze, he's the one who leaves a mark. Picture this mini narrative. You're walking through a room, slow and steady. You notice her glance your way. Your eyes meet and you just stay there, watching her with a quiet ease. No urgency, no performance. And then, at the perfect moment, you let your eyes drift away. Your expression unchanged. Now she's the one left wondering, why did that feel so intense? Why did it seem like he already knew me? And just like that, you're living rent-free in her mind. Here's what most guys will never learn, but you will. Eye contact isn't about domination. It's about comfort within yourself. When you can hold her gaze without flinching, you're sending a crystal clear signal. I'm not hiding. I'm not chasing. I'm simply here. Want to put this into action? The next time your eyes meet hers, don't panic. Don't look away immediately. Count to 2 in your mind slowly. Hold it steady. Then, with quiet confidence, break the gaze on your own terms. Watch what happens next. Why does it feel like she's following you with her eyes now? Simple. You just unlocked a power most men will never touch. Speed. It's the silent killer of presence. Most men move fast because, deep down, they're trying to catch up to something, to someone, or maybe to their own racing thoughts. They walk with rushed steps, cutting through crowds like they're late for everything. But here's what they don't know. Slowing down, especially when you walk, makes you look like you own every room you enter. Picture this. You're walking into a cafe. Most people are hurried, heads down, phones out, bodies weaving through tables like they're invisible. But not you. You push the door open and pause for just a second, subtle but intentional. You scan the room, your chin slightly raised, posture loose but upright. And then you walk, slowly, deliberately, each step grounded. You're not in a domes rush. You're not chasing anything. You simply move with the pace of someone who knows he belongs, and she notices. That's the hidden power of the slow walk. It projects an aura of control, of quiet mastery. It signals to every person watching that you don't just enter rooms, you own them. Most men have this backward. They think moving fast shows energy, ambition, drive. They think rushing makes them look efficient or decisive. But to her, it looks like desperation. It looks like you're chasing something or worse, running from something. Here's where emotional contrast hits hard. You think speeding up shows purpose, but she sees it as frantic, insecure energy. Meanwhile, the man who walks slowly commands attention without even trying. Imagine this micro-narrative. You're at a networking event. Everyone else is moving quickly from group to group, making small talk, glancing around nervously. But you stroll across the room at your own pace, shoulders back, slight smile, no phone in your hand. You pause to scan the space, not hunting, just observing. And in that moment, she can't help but notice you. Why? Because everything about your body language says one thing. I'm exactly where I need to be. And here's the fun part. It works everywhere. At the gym, in the grocery store, walking through the park. That slow, deliberate movement triggers something primal. It's the walk of kings, of warriors, of men who don't chase. They attract, and you can tap into it right now. Next time you're out in public, try this simple shift. Walk 10% slower than your normal pace. Keep your head level, your shoulders loose, your hands relaxed at your sides or lightly in your pockets. No fidgeting, no sudden movements. Just calm, steady steps. as if the whole world is on your time. You'll feel the difference instantly. And don't be surprised when you catch her glancing your way, watching you, wondering about you, because most guys rush through life unnoticed, but not you. Some connections feel effortless. You felt it before, that magnetic pull during a conversation, when it seems like you and her are speaking the same language, sensed in some invisible rhythm. You probably thought it was just chemistry, a lucky spark. But what if I told you that kind of connection isn't random? It's triggered. And it often starts with something so small, most men never even notice it. It's called mirroring. The subtle art of reflecting her body language without her realizing it. Picture this moment. You're sitting across from her, maybe at a quiet coffee shop. She picks up her drink, takes a sip, and sets it down. A few seconds later, without even thinking, you lift your glass too. Not in a forced, exaggerated way, but naturally, almost unconsciously. You shift in your seat slightly after she does. You lean in just a bit when she leans closer, and then something fascinating happens. Suddenly, she feels connected to you. She doesn't know why. She just feels like you get her, like you're on the same wavelength. Here's the truth. Women are incredibly sensitive to these tiny social cues. Mirroring, when done subtly, signals emotional alignment. It tells her on a deep, instinctual level, we're in sync. And when she feels that, her guard drops. Her curiosity heightens. Her attraction builds. But here's where most men go wrong. They either never mirror at all, sitting stiff, disconnected, too focused on their own nerves, or they overdo it, trying too hard to copy every move she makes, which feels creepy and unnatural. The key is subtlety, almost playful, almost accidental. Here's the emotional contrast at work. You think mirroring her makes you look submissive, like you're following her lead. But in her subconscious mind, it signals something very different. Trust, empathy, and emotional connection. Imagine this micro-narrative. She crosses her legs during your chat, and a minute later, you shift your posture, crossing yours casually too. You adjust your sleeves after she fixes her hair. Little movements, spaced naturally apart, nothing obvious, nothing immediate. And yet, her body feels a dot. She starts smiling more, leaning closer. Her voice softens. Her laughter comes easier. She won't consciously know what changed. But deep inside, she'll feel it. Comfort, safety, chemistry. And here's the secret weapon after. A few subtle mirrors. You break the pattern. You shift your posture back to neutral. You lean back, relaxed. You create space again. That's when she starts chasing. That's when she tries to resync with you. It's like a dance. Lead. Follow. Lead again. Want to unlock this for yourself? Try this action step next time you're out. When you're in conversation with a woman, notice her body language. Pick just one small gesture, maybe the way she leans in, or how she holds her cup. Wait a few beats, then naturally mirror it once. Subtle, calm, then shift back after a minute. Watch how quickly the dynamic shifts. Why does this feel so comfortable? Like we just get each other? Now you know. Here's the truth that no one ever tells you. All these moves, every glance, every pause, every subtle touch, they aren't tricks. They aren't some pickup artist hacks or manipulative tactics. They're simply reflections of something deeper, something that's already inside you. Confidence. That's the twist most guys miss. They spend years studying body language, reading scripts, rehearsing lines in the mirror, trying to get women. But the guys who naturally pull off these moves, they're not thinking about any of this. They're not calculating every glance or every smirk. They're just being. Think about it. The man who pauses effortlessly in conversation isn't doing it to seduce her. He's doing it because he's comfortable with silence. He doesn't feel the need to fill every gap with noise. He's already at peace with himself. The guy who smiles slowly isn't plotting some psychological trick. He smiles that way because he genuinely enjoys the moment. He doesn't rush it. He doesn't force it. It just happens. The man who casually touches her arm isn't forcing chemistry. He's simply connected to the flow of the conversation, unafraid of closeness, grounded in his own skin. Every move, every gesture, every lingering gaze. It all comes back to one thing: presence. Women are drawn to men who are present, fully in the moment, unrushed, unbothered, at ease in their own body. Reason these secret moves work isn't because they manipulate her. It's because they reveal something about you. They reveal that you're not seeking approval. You're not chasing validation. You're not trying to impress her. You're simply enjoying the dance of the moment. And the wildest part? You've probably already done these moves without realizing it. Think back to a time when you felt truly confident. Maybe after you crushed a presentation. Maybe after an incredible workout. Maybe after walking away from someone toxic, knowing you made the right choice. Remember how your body moved in those moments, how you walked a little slower, how your gaze naturally held steady, how your smile came from somewhere deep, not from politeness but from peace. That's it. That's the core of it all. It was never about learning new tricks. It was about remembering who you are when you stop trying so hard. Here's what I want you to do. Before any social situation, whether it's a date, a party, or just your daily life, take a deep breath. Roll your shoulders back. Feel the weight of your feet on the ground. Let your breath slow down. Then walk in. No performance. No act. Just presence. Because the man who masters these moves isn't acting. He simply knows his value, and it radiates. Maybe you don't need to try so hard. Maybe you already have it in you. In fact, I know you do. Pause in conversations. Don't rush. Smile slowly and deliberately. Use subtle, casual touches. Hold a calm, steady gaze. Walk with unhurried confidence. Mirror her body language subtly. These aren't tricks. They're signs of grounded self-confidence. Practice them with intention. And let her come to you.